Just wanted to start off and say get well soon, Bob Odenkirk. Earlier this week, he confirmed on Twitter that he had suffered what he called a small heart attack, but I don't really think anything involving like the words heart attack can be small. It sounds like a pretty major type of thing. He collapsed while filming the final season of Better Call Saul in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And that was all we really heard for like almost 20 hours. Twitter is a great thing. It's a terrible thing. And it's a terrifying thing when you see just a celebrity's name. Because it could be anything. It could be good. It could be bad. It could be an injury. It could be an accident. It could be them saying something really stupid. Like, it's terrifying. So to just see Bob Odenkirk and then all you hear for 18, 20 hours is he collapsed on set and is in the hospital. Very thankful that he will be able to make a full recovery. Very thankful that he will be able to resume his prolific career. And more importantly, just that he's going to be okay. Welcome to This Week in Movies. So this week started off totally slow. Everything was fine. Everything was, relatively low-key, and then all hell broke loose when Scarlett Johansson slapped Disney with a fat lawsuit. She is suing over the release of Black Widow that they did concurrently in theaters and on Disney Plus Premier Access, which is like the $30 surcharge to unlock it and have it for basically ever, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if things are going to expire on Disney Plus ever, or if they do on streaming, whatever. It's a mess. So she hit Disney with this lawsuit, and it got ugly very quick. She alleged that she went to Disney with concerns, saying that her contract, the way it was structured, was that she would make a large percentage of the theatrical gross, and that was tied to her salary. And she says in the lawsuit that Disney just never responded. And by doing the home release method, she lost out on like a $50 million payday, which, I'd be a little pissed too. Disney came out and put out this statement in response to it that, not the best look for the company. This is what they said. They said, the lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, the company said, adding that Disney has fully complied with Johansson's contract. On top of the $20 million Johansson has received, Disney said, Black Widow releasing it on Disney Plus significantly enhanced her ability to earn additional compensation. So she got paid $20 million. She says she was cheated out of up to $50 million in extra compensation. And it just devolved really quickly into a he said, she said with Disney and one of their biggest stars from the past decade. Like, the MCU is the biggest thing in movies right now. And I can bet you that Disney would not be doing this if it was Robert Downey Jr., or if it was any of the Chris's, or Benedict Cumberbatch, or The Rock with the new Jungle Cruise movie. Like, it just seems a little odd. So, after this comes out, after Scarlett Johansson says, hey, I'm suing you for this extra money because you never responded to me when I expressed these concerns, Emma Stone said, that sounds like a good idea. And she is now apparently considering suing Disney as well over the same concurrent release strategy that Disney used for Black Widow that they used for Cruella. It just seems very odd that it would be the female stars of these movies that are having these massive contract issues, or that Disney just isn't responding. It's a terrible look for the company, because Cruella was a huge hit at a time when theaters weren't really like fully open yet. Black Widow was a boon the first couple weeks and then fell off greatly, and theaters and Scarlett Johansson and all sorts of people got pissed because they said that it was because Disney was putting it on Disney Plus Premier Access, and it just comes off as so odd for this huge company to specifically be called out on this thing by two of the biggest female stars of their releases this year. And it's just, it seems a little odd that it would be the women that get the short. Like, if Emily Blunt comes out now and is like, hey, you know, now that I'm looking at the contract here for the Jungle Cruise and it's a massive hit, feels a little like, I don't know if this is going to kill off Disney's Premiere Plus thing or what's going to happen, but it's clear that streaming and like this type of hybrid release has really thrown, you know, typical convention in Hollywood and how these movies are released. It's thrown it into complete chaos, and unfortunately it seems to be, you know, the actresses that are, you know, having to lead the charge to get, I guess, what they're owed, what their contracts say they're owed. Speaking of contract disputes, so these things must come in threes, like bad news and like celebrity accidents or any other of those things. Like you always hear like the rule of three. Gerard Butler is suing Millennium Media for $10 million in back money that he claims he was not given from Olympus Has Fallen profits. He says he's owed $10 million after the success of 2013's Olympus Has Fallen. So here's what it says. It says, yet he says he has never seen a penny in net profits with an audit of accounting statements, raising flags in multiple areas on the revenue side, domestically and foreign. So this is from the first movie in 2013. He made 2 sequels. He made London Has Fallen, and I don't even remember what the third one was called. But like, he made 2 sequels. Like, if someone owed me $10 million and they were like, hey, Drew, hey, you want to come back and do like another movie? I'd be like, no, I want $10 million first. Here, buddy. I can't believe that this would come out now. I don't know if this is just like, did he like see that Scarlett Johansson and Emma Stone were gonna sue, and was he like, oh, that's right, they owe me $10 million. They kept saying they were good for it, and I just forgot all about it. Like, crazy. Like, I wonder how many of these things are gonna come up, because like this isn't even straight. Like, this is like 8 years ago. Like, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I wouldn't be able to come home. My fiance would be like, what? No, you're not gonna go make another movie with it. Like, go get your $10 million, you dummy. In an absolutely insanely bold show of confidence from Blumhouse, David Gordon Green, the director behind the Halloween remake and the 2 sequels coming out for that, has been given $400 million from Universal and Peacock to create an Exorcist Trilogy sequel. Like an Exorcist sequel trilogy that is going to have Ellen Burstyn reprising her role and is set to star Leslie Odom Jr. as well. So obviously the big, bold statement here is that it's not a remake, it's going to be a sequel, and it's going to find Leslie Odom Jr. playing a parent with a possessed child who has to go to Ellen Burstyn to get help because she's seen it before, she's done it before. And it's pretty bold to come right out and be like, we're doing a sequel. We're not only doing a sequel, but it's going to be a trilogy. Like, I wonder if like they just know these 2 Halloween movies are going to be so good that they're like, yeah, we can do this. Like, are they like, oh, it's just crazy. So the first film is going to be released in 2023, which 2 years away sounds like a long time, but I cannot wait to see what starts to come out about this movie. Another story that surprisingly and shockingly dominated the news cycle this week was this admission from Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, who admitted that they don't regularly bathe their children or take regular baths or showers themselves. If you see dirt on them, clean them, Kutcher said. Otherwise, there's no point. He also revealed that he personally uses soap and water on his armpits and crotch, but nothing else ever. He also said that like he'll like use salt water sometimes after a workout to like he'll throw water on his face to get salt out after a workout, which is just So are they just walking around like in sweat and dirt and grime? Like, is it just like a family of pig pens walking around the Kutcher house? I don't understand. And this like exploded on social media the day that this bombshell dropped. People were like, I don't like what. I guess that checks out if you're gonna have, Kelso be your dad. A24 has a new horror movie coming out called Lamb, and the first trailer came out for it, and oh my god, I know what it's about because I read a little bit of the description, but like, this just looks like it's gonna be like you know how A24 like suckers you in, where they're like, hey, it's not gonna be like an outright scary movie. It's just going to be emotionally scarring, like Hereditary or Midsommar or any other A24 horror movie, The Witch, The Lighthouse, like name them. This looks like it's going to go to another level of like, this is so unsettling that I want to just crawl out of my chair and go home, but I don't feel safe at home anymore. So I guess I'm just going to float around the earth now. Thanks, A24. It doesn't come out till October, which I think is also cruel, because that means like for 2 months we're gonna have to watch things like this and just wonder like, why, how, I can't wait. I am terrified of what could possibly be about to happen in this movie, but I'm so curious, and I hate A24 for that.